Right, hi everyone, Chris here, 2E0UKH. I was going to do a video on making an FM bug transmitter on frequencies I'm allowed to transmit on. I was going to do that for all the spies who watch this that are not into radio. They're just being nosy people I know, seeing what I'm up to. But that would be ideal for them, but I haven't quite finished yet. I'm going to do that in the next few weeks. But I just wanted to share with you this code plug, and I mean literally share. There'll be a Dropbox in the YouTube description, and from there you can download it. Now, if you're using a hotspot, if you've got an MD380 or a Retevis, or I think it will work on an MD390. Make a backup of your own code plug first and then try this. You might enjoy it. To get this working on your radio, you'll need to go to General Settings and put your call sign in, your radio ID, and you'll need to go into your Blue DV app on Windows or on Android and alter the frequency to 434-200. Now there's a reason why you need to change the frequency. I'll show you in a minute all the channels I've got here. But if you wanted to use this and use your own frequency, you have to go into all these pages and alter the receive and transmit frequencies, and you'll be here forever because there's loads and loads of stuff in here. I'm clicking on them all, and you'd have to alter every single page to 434-200. No, sorry, you'd have to alter that to your frequency. So it's best to use the frequency I'm using, 434-200, although you're welcome to alter it. Now, this code plug was made for me by Mick, 2E0XVX. Very grateful for all his hard work. Now let me show you in a bit more detail what talk groups we've got in, because in the past we used to dial into them by going into manual dial, and then you dial in the reflector number. You can still do that on this one. You can still do it on this one. You'd just go to the bluestack. You'd go to that one, and you could dial up in the normal way. Now, I'll just show you how I've got the zones set up. These are all the channels I've got in, and talk groups. You'll find bugs in them. If you find any bugs, put it in the description and I'll alter it. But there's loads and loads of countries all around the world, all programmed in. Now, how I've got mine set up, I've got go to zones. I've got my favourites there, and I'll just delete that one. That was a demo. My favourites. So if I take it to the zone my favourites, I've added my original bluestack there, so I can go in there and I can dial up. I can dial up in the old way. If there's a reflector, in the UK we call them reflectors on brandmeister, reflector 4400. If I wanted to dial in the old way, I could go to the zone called my favourites, go to on the 16 position switch, take it to number 1, go to bluestack. I can long press the lower button, the button below transmit, and I've got that set to you enter the reflector number. So I can do it the old way. If there's a reflector or something I don't have in a preset or in one of these zones, I can enter it manually. But what I prefer now to do is to use it using talk groups. For example, if I was out in the car, I was on the UK Great Britain talk group 2350, otherwise known as Reflector 4400. If I was on there and I wanted to change to the USA call-in frequency, call-in talk group, all I would do is click the 16 position switch at the top. I'd just knock it down one to USA nationwide. I'd key up and I'd be on there. If I wanted to go to Canada, I'll click it up to Canada, key up, and I'll be there. There's no messing about unlinking and all this business. It's just instant. So that's how I got it set up, and what I recommend you do, use this as a base. Add your own stuff to this. If you want this, I created this one called My Favourites. Mick, who created this 2E0XVX, he's given me full permission to share this. I'll credit him in the description. This wasn't in the code plug he gave me. This is how I added it. I just went to zone, added a zone, and it comes up there, default zone 1. If I alter that, I can call it Favourites 2. Favourites 2. And I can add what I want to that. So I might put my original BlueStack there. Click add. That's gone in position 1. If in case I wanted to call up in the normal way, like if there was a reflector I couldn't get to, I needed to get to in a hurry. Ireland, I could add that there. Y as X, add that there. They're all on it, all the main ones you're going to want. Add a tech group, Sweden, Queensland, Australia. Add that over. You can add individual contacts. So if I wanted to add M6 UKB, I can add that over, and if I key up, I can make a direct private call to John, M6 UKB. So you can mix contacts as well as talk groups, as well as even FM repeaters. If I went down and found my local FM repeater, which is in here somewhere, I think it is. Northampton GB3NP. That's an FM repeater. It's in one of these. It's in one of these channels. If I want to add that over, I've got my local FM repeater in there as well. So I've made this zone called Favourites 2. If I sent this to the radio, that would be position 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on the 16 position switch. And that's all there is to it. So alter your frequency to 434-200 on your Android or Windows or on your hotspot software. Go into this code plug, put your DMR ID in, and you're good to go. You're bound to spot a few bugs in this, a few errors. Put them in the description and I'll alter them. So 7.3 and have fun. And many thanks to Mick, 2E0XVX, for his time, and effort programming all this in. Because in all of these in each of these zones, there's 16. There's 16 channels on all of these zones. It's just a lot of work gone into it. Australia. They're all the FM repeaters. Okay, 732E0 UK.